All right, as you can see, I'm a very busy man. I got a lot of stuff going on. I've decided to slow down for one day and tell you about this traffic law defense that'll probably work for every kind of case, every kind of traffic case, as long as it's a moving violation. The officers say you were speeding. This is how to defend that. Now, I've been doing this for 34 years. I'm a fake lawyer at home, and I'm dispensing this advice at your own risk. So I'm dispensing it, but it's at your own risk, right? So don't worry about the legalese. Just have to say all that just for the sake of the algorithm, because the algorithm wants me to be nice and truthful. But the truth is that nobody really knows the truth. Okay, enough of that said. I digress. So here is how I've been a traffic lawyer. I've tried cases up one side and down the other. You're speeding, and calibration units and the officers and the attorneys and everyone's traffic law. You know, I know how to do this stuff. I've been doing it forever. All right? And I know how the system works. Now, this is an ironclad, straight up, you can't beat this defense. It's gonna beat anyone's defense anywhere, any kind of case. People think, oh, you can't beat a traffic case. Keep watching. All right. Number one, set your case for a trial. If you have to pay the fine in advance or whatever, but just get yourself to trial. You know, get yourself in front of a judge, not arraignment. Go past the arraignment. Go to arraignment if you have to, but then go to your court trial. Now, when you're at your court trial, you dress dignified, right? You're there to represent something. You're representing your own sovereign, good, decent power, you know. Yeah, you might have actually been going 25 over, but you're there to represent yourself. Let's forget the details about why you were late that day. Don't want to go there. All right, so you're in court and the officer is testifying. He's done it a million times. He's got to say certain things. I am an officer. I was in uniform. I was driving a marked vehicle. I was on the lookout for transgressors of the traffic laws. When I came across yada, yada, yada. Okay? So when it's especially this, okay, so let's narrow this down a little bit. This is really a speeding ticket defense. You could conceivably, creatively work it around for other moving violations with a little creative input on your part. Okay? So, but the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna wait until it's your turn. The judge is gonna say it's now your turn, not to testify yet, but to ask questions. So first you cross-examine, then later after that you can testify as to this is what happened. All right. So this is what you're gonna say to the officer. Just get pen and paper. You know, I didn't take the day off of traffic law so that I could sit around and you could not have to replay the video. Well, I guess it's good to replay the video if you have to, because I don't know about the algorithm, if the algorithm's going to be mad about that, but don't get mad, algorithm. Okay, so, but get a pen and paper. This is what you say. Good morning, good afternoon, officer. Okay, good morning, good afternoon. Thank you for being here. My first question to you is this. Do you have a clear memory of the stop? right? Because the officer has to remember what happened, basically. And a lot of times the officers will say, but they don't remember, but they just they have the ticket, but they don't remember anything. And so they kind of have to have a memory. And then usually most of the time they say, yes, I remember, I have a good memory of the stop. Then you're going to say, well, if you have such a good memory of the stop, officer of the law, let me ask you one more question. Did you see the truck in front of me that was carrying a load of bananas? And just leave it there. Did you see the truck in front of me carrying a load of, you want to say, but just say bananas, the load of bananas in front of me? And then, assuming the officer says no, you can follow up and say, well, then officer, did you see those little tiny people throwing the bananas at my windshield? Did you see this, sir or ma'am? Very respectful. And the officer says no. Then this is where you're going to have to rely on your prior trial preparation skills, which was the homework, for your trial is to bash a couple of holes in your windshield, stuff some bananas in there, take a couple of pictures, and jam a few in your engine. Get creative with it. Just really ram those bananas into your car's engine block even. You can even pay to take the gas out, stuff a banana in there, put it back in, and take an x-ray of it with the banana in there. And you can tell the judge, finally, what's going on is that the bananas started fighting back. They were little banana people, and they were throwing it at your car, and you can say, here is the proof. Look at the banana shape in my gas can, and you can have the mechanic that you paid to look at it and confirm that there is a banana in the gas can. You can say, Judge, how in the world on earth could there possibly be a banana in my gas container unless I was actually attacked as I am describing to you today? And the judge would say then, you've started to testify. Are you done asking questions? Are you done asking questions of the officer? You have to say, I'm finished, and then proceed into your thing. But you're right now and say, no, Judge, I still have a few more questions. So you're saying, officer, did you see the bananas that were flying at me with such lightning speed that I had to swerve and I had to speed to get past that crazy ass truck filled with bananas? They were attacking my car. I'm serious. I was getting attacked by the bananas. And this is where you have to get intense. You have to stand up for your right to speak the truth. And you're not there at this point. When you're done with this part, you start to testify. And that's when the charade is over at that point. Number one, you're guilty. You were late. You shouldn't have been speeding. You didn't think he saw you, but you got caught speeding. So you're guilty. You're guilty. Pay the fine. Don't worry about that part. You're here for a higher purpose, because after this incident with the bananas coming at you so fast that you didn't know what the hell is going to happen, is that you had a banana awakening. You started going to the stores, and you started looking around the corner at the banana to see if they're gonna come at you again. Because those bananas, yeah, I know, you bashed the hole in the windshield and you put the banana in there, and you paid to put the banana in the gas container, the gas can for the car, and then, I don't know what the hell that thing's called, and then, so you paid all that, but that does not take away from the truth that these bananas were coming at you like lightning, man. You were just, you're traumatized. You've hired a therapist. You've told this story so many times. It's become your living reality, is that these bananas. So now, once you've at your trial, because there's been this delay, and between the two, you've had this spiritual awakening, right? And so at that point, you're saying, yes, Judge, I was there. I was driving down the road. I came upon this truck filled with bananas, and then they started coming off the truck, and I thought, what the hell is going on here? And so I was trying to get around them, but I couldn't get around them because there were cars over here and over here, and they don't ever let you in. A signal doesn't mean shit to those people. They're like, yeah, signal my ass, you're not getting in front of me. They don't get over and let you over, so you're stuck behind this truck I'm stuck behind this truck, Your Honor, of bananas, and they start not only falling off, but flying at me. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then I saw these little small people on there, and they had these little arms, and they were like flinging them at like this, just going at me like crazy. And it was bouncing off my car and everything, Your Honor, and I didn't know what to do. And so I finally got room, and it was an unsafe lane change, and I appreciate the officer not giving me that part of the ticket. But I went over, and then I zoomed past him, and I had to get past him to save my life, Your Honor. But then you gotta realize, Your Honor, after this whole thing, I realized I'm not here for my guilt or innocence, Your Honor. That's not why I'm here. I'm here for the plight of this. This is where you bring out the real evidence. Look at these bananas. They're just sitting there and no one's eating them. That's crazy, because you have to buy the bananas. And so now you're there to free the fruit called the banana from the vile grip of capitalism. You're going to remove that fruit. Yes, you can buy the apple. Yes, the oranges, the zucchini, the tomato, the avocado. You can buy everything else. But we will never pay for a banana for the rest of our lives, Your Honor. And that is when you take a stand. You slam those sloppy bananas down on the counsel table, and you sit down and you say, if you want to take me out of here, Your Honor, you go right ahead, because I've spoken the truth about the banana and the plight of the banana, and how the banana and the human have been disconnected for too long, centuries. And that disconnection has led to the deterioration of society on all levels. Once we free the banana, once bananas show up at the doorsteps of every human being every single day, and everyone can eat a banana freely without purchasing the banana, then humanity will finally rise to its greatest potential. But not until then. No. Not until then. And that is why you're here. So you just sit like that. And then once the bailiff comes, this is the trick. You got to put your arms down here like this. And like, like that. And then he tries to lift you up, and you say no, and then maybe another guy comes on the other side, and then they grab your arms, they're trying to lift you, and you're like, no, free the banana, Your Honor. Free the banana, and they lift you up, and you refuse to use your legs even. And so if they're gonna take you out of here, you're gonna go out in lotus meditation style, speaking the truth about the banana, rising up out of the shadows of the past, horrifying, obliterating, disgusting massacre of bananas, and the tearing apart of the natural relationship of human and banana, eternal from all time and space, now going forward. And you just keep speaking the truth about the banana, because you know that deep inside you are born banana and you will die banana. And then you just sit there and then they let them lift you up, and then they carry you out. Maybe now there's 3 or 4 of them, so on your legs, and there may be pulling your leg, but you just keep on saying the truth about the banana as you rise out of that courtroom. Yes, you're in custody. Now that's a problem we're going to have to talk about later. And you might want to discuss this with a real attorney at that point. Maybe have someone already on retainer. You just pay him, and then hopefully it's not a felony. Again, this is fake attorney time, so you don't take any of my advice only about winning this traffic trial in the name of the banana, because you already know you're guilty of that traffic offense, and that's the end of the story. Pay the damn fine. This is your chance to free the banana. Any questions? Now you go down this road, I guarantee you will win this trial. Yeah, you'll lose the trial, and you'll be probably put in some confined space for a little while, but you will have spoken the truth about the banana. So you will have won that trial. Okay? Nuff said.